Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into a story you might have heard before, but trust me, we're going deeper this time.
Deeper than a baby in a basket floating down a river.
Oh, we're getting to that. We're talking about the birth of Krishna.
Ah, yes. More than a birth, really a pivotal moment in Hindu mythology.
Exactly. And our source is fascinating. A YouTube video called, and get this, Story of Krishna's Birth, Krishna Janmashtami.
From the channel The Hindu Saga, if I'm not mistaken.
We got it. So we've got tyrannical kings, prophecies, divine intervention.
Baby swaps, storms, multi-headed snakes, the works.
It's going to be epic. All right, scene set. Ancient Mathura. Our antagonist is King Kansa.
Not a nice guy. Ruled through fear, and this prophecy about his downfall, well, that just amped it up.
The prophecy that his sister Devaki's 8th son would be his killer, right?
Precisely. So what does Kansa do? Imprisons Devaki and her husband Vasudeva, murders their first 6 children.
Just brutal. Imagine being Devaki watching your own brother.
Driven by fear. But someone steps in. Someone powerful. Mother Earth herself appeals to Lord Vishnu.
Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, right?
The one who takes on different forms, avatars to restore balance. And Kansa, he's tipped the scales way too far.
So Vishnu decides to get personally involved.
We could say that. Assures Mother Earth he'll be born as Devaki's 8th son to defeat Kansa.
Okay, but hold on. Devaki was already pregnant with her 7th child. How does that work?
Ah, that's where divine strategy comes in. Vishnu calls upon Yogmaya.
Yogmaya. Who's that?
Powerful goddess, illusions, manipulating reality. That's her domain. She transfers the 7th child, Balarama,
Into the womb of another of Vasudeva's wives, Rohini.
hiding safely in Gokul. Protection from Kansa, see? And it sets the stage for Krishna, the 8th son.
A divine switcheroo. I love it. Okay, so on to the birth itself. Dramatic, I hear.
Oh, you have no idea. 8th night of the month of Shravan, raging storm, but within the prison cell, divine light illuminating Krishna's birth.
The universe making an announcement, huh?
Exactly. And then a voice, a divine voice instructing Vasudeva to take the baby to Gokul.
Another swap. This
Yeah.
is getting complicated.
Swap Krishna with Nanda and Yashoda's newborn daughter.
In the middle of a storm. That's a risky mission. Did Vasudeva even hesitate?
Imagine it. 6 children already lost. This is his chance, but
To leave his son with another family, never see him again, maybe?
heartbreaking choice. But divine intervention's on his side. Prison doors open, guards fall into a deep sleep, Vasudeva escapes, baby in a basket.
Straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
And then the river.
Yamuna River, overflowing, dangerous. But guess who shows up?
Don't tell me. Another god.
Adisesha, the multi-headed serpent. Shields Vasudeva and Krishna with his hood, protection from the storm.
Epic is an understatement. This story's got everything.
It does. Vasudeva makes it to Gokul, finds Nanda's house, swaps the babies. Can you imagine that feeling, leaving your son behind?
Must have been agonizing. Okay, but what about Kansa? He's waiting for that 8th child, right?
Oblivious, blinded by fear and arrogance, bursts into the prison, ready to end the prophecy.
Going after the wrong baby.
About to strike Nanda and Yashoda's daughter, when suddenly,
She transforms.
into the 8-armed goddess, riding a lion, wielding weapons.
Talk about a shock.
She announces Krishna is alive, will return to end Kansa's reign.
And Kansa.
Terrified, his power shaken, his plan backfired spectacularly.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. This is incredible.
And that's just the beginning. We've got 2 worlds, Mathura under Kansa's shadow, and Gokul, celebrating the arrival of their son.
Totally different vibes. One filled with fear, the other with joy. What a contrast.
It sets the stage for what's to come. But that, my friend, is a story for another time.
Okay, so baby Krishna is safe and sound in Gokul, while Kansa is still stewing in Mathura.
It's almost like 2 completely separate realities, right?
Total opposites.
Yeah.
You've got Kansa clinging to power, consumed by fear, and then,
You got Krishna living a surprisingly normal life.
well, as normal as it can be for, a divine being.
Makes you think, though. Do we ever realize the bigger picture, the struggles happening elsewhere while we're going about our day?
Whoa, deep thoughts already. But back to Krishna. He wasn't exactly your average kid, was he?
Not even close. He's showing extraordinary powers from, day 1.
Really? Like what?
Well, there's that story about Putana. This demoness, disguised as a beautiful woman, tries to kill him
Kill him? How?
with poisoned breast milk.
Okay, that's just creepy.
It's symbolic, though. Putana represents evil, masked as something nurturing.
A reminder that appearances can be deceiving.
Exactly. But Krishna, he's not fooled. He sucks out the poison and her life force along with it.
So he basically turns her weapon against him.
Divine powers, right. And then there's the cart demon, Shakatasura.
Oh, yeah. He disguised himself as a cart trying to crush Krishna.
And Krishna just kicks it over like it's nothing.
I can picture that. A baby defeating a demon cart with a kick. It's almost funny.
It is, but it also shows how effortlessly Krishna overcomes these massive obstacles.
So even in these little childhood stories, there's this deeper meaning, this fight between good and evil playing out.
Always present. And then, of course, you've got Krishna's mischievous side, stealing butter, playing pranks.
The ultimate butter thief. But why butter? What's the significance of that?
It's actually quite profound. It symbolizes material attachment, things we cling to, desires that bind us.
So Krishna's stealing butter is about letting go.
Liberation from those attachments to experience true freedom.
Mind blown. So even his pranks are life lessons.
Exactly. But he's not all mischief. He shows incredible compassion, too, protecting the cowherds, teaching them about righteousness, devotion.
So he's a leader, a teacher, even as a child. I bet people were just drawn to him.
Oh, absolutely. It's that mix of strength, wisdom, compassion. That's what makes Krishna so captivating. But remember, Kansa hasn't forgotten about him.
He's still trying to kill him.
Sends demons to Gokul, constantly trying to find a way.
So even with all this idyllic childhood stuff, there's this looming threat.
Always there. Kansa represents those forces of darkness, always trying to snuff out the good. A reminder that challenges can pop up anywhere.
Even when things seem perfect, it makes you think, which side are you on?
A good question to ask ourselves. But before we get to Krishna's return to Mathura and that epic showdown with Kansa,
We have to talk about the people who shaped him in Gokul.
exactly. Nanda and Yashoda, his foster parents.
Raising him as their own, knowing he wasn't. That's pure love.
The kind of love that nurtures, empowers. Maybe that's part of what made Krishna so extraordinary.
Being surrounded by that kind of love makes sense.
And then there's Radha, his eternal consort.
I've always been a little confused about their relationship. It seems like more than just, romantic love.
It is. It's a soul connection. Radha represents the longing for union with the divine.
A spiritual connection.
Pure, selfless devotion. It's about yearning for enlightenment, merging with the ultimate source of love and truth.
Wow. That's deep. And then you've got Krishna's friends, the cowherds.
They're important too. They represent the everyday people touched by his divinity.
They saw something special in him, even as a child.
They felt it. His charisma, his compassion. It shows that the divine can be found in the ordinary, in our interactions with others.
It's like all these relationships with his parents, Radha, the cowherds. They prepared him for what was to come.
Absolutely. They shaped him into the leader he was destined to be. It's that beautiful blend of the divine and the human that makes Krishna's story so powerful.
But we can't forget about that prophecy. As Krishna grew up, he must have realized Gokul couldn't be his forever home.
He had a destiny to fulfill. And that brings us to the next chapter, his return to Mathura, the confrontation with Kansa.
Okay, I am ready for part 3. This is getting intense. Okay, here we are, the final showdown. Krishna's back in Mathura, ready to face Kansa. It's like the hero's journey coming full circle.
And for the people of Mathura, it's a moment of hope. They've suffered under Kansa's rule for so long.
They're looking at Krishna, this cowherd, as their savior. A lot of pressure for a young guy.
But he doesn't just storm the palace, does he? There's no big army at his back.
So how does he play it?
Smart. Strategic. He and Balarama enter Mathura almost as guests.
Laying low, observing.
Exactly. Building trust, assessing the situation.
So it's not just about brute force. There's diplomacy, strategy involved.
Krishna understands power. He knows how to wield it.
But Kansa must have been freaking out. Rumors flying, people whispering about this prophesied son.
Fear and paranoia take over. He sees Krishna and it confirms his worst nightmare.
So what does he do? Try to get rid of him, obviously, but how?
Arranges a wrestling match. Figures he can take Krishna out right there in the arena.
A wrestling match. Seems a little basic for a king trying to eliminate a divine threat.
Kansa's blinded by fear. Underestimates Krishna. Big mistake.
This wrestling match, it's more than just a fight, isn't it?
It's symbolic. It's the showdown we've been building towards.
So what happens? Does Krishna just, crush everyone?
He defeats Kansa's wrestlers easily, but that's not the point. It's about exposing Kansa, revealing his treachery to the whole court.
Public humiliation.
Yeah.
Turning the people against him.
It's a classic move. The villain undone by his own actions.
Okay, but Kansa's not going down without a fight, is he?
Enraged, desperate, he tries to attack Krishna directly.
Yeah.
Too late. The people have turned against him. His power's gone. This is the end of Kansa's reign.
This is it. Prophecy time.
Krishna, fueled by righteous anger, the hopes of Mathura, he slays Kansa.
Liberating the city. It's not just a personal victory. It's about freeing the people.
Exactly. It reminds us that even the most powerful tyrant can fall.
And that good, ultimately, triumphs over evil. Okay, Kansa's gone. Mathura's free. What happens to Krishna?
He becomes the ruler, just righteous. He brings peace and prosperity back to Mathura.
Fulfilling his destiny. The cowherd turned king. Amazing.
But that's not the end of the story, not even close. The Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's impact goes way beyond this one event.
He becomes this central figure, a guide, a teacher. His influence is still felt today.
It's incredible. This story told for centuries still speaks to us. Good versus evil, faith, self-realization, these themes are timeless.
So what do we take away from all this? How do we apply these lessons to our own lives?
Maybe it's about recognizing that spark of divinity within ourselves, that potential for compassion, wisdom, courage.
Like Krishna, we can strive to make a positive impact.
To stand up against injustice, to live with purpose. It's inspiring, isn't it?
Absolutely. This deep dive, it's been more than just a story. It's a journey, a reminder of the power of myth, the enduring legacy of Krishna. And on that note, we wrap up our deep dive into the story of Krishna's birth.